So already there's going to be the effect. You did hear the Minister for Roads suggest already that the Sino-Hydro may be affected, because of the virus. He wasn't just politicking, it's actually the truth. Even though we do know that the economic analysis for the Sino-Hydro shows clearly that it was definitely not really value for money. I mean, you can't hide under Sino-Hydro, but the point to be made is that whatever it is,
the government's
there's
plans
some aspects of the plans that will be definitely affected. So globally, we've seen the challenges, we've seen the economic meltdown. I mean, that is going to happen. Some people have even suggested that if someone had predicted, I just have forgotten the name, that the next the next financial crisis will be due to a pandemic, health-wise. So we are not necessarily out of our depths. We just didn't wake up to this, which also meant that the world economy was becoming quite robust until this pandemic came, and which is just flattering almost all economies. In Africa, we pray that if the scientific evidence, if it is proven that the virus cannot basically succeed in heat, then that's our sole. We should be hopeful that it doesn't cause enormous devastation. But without a doubt, the economic losses are quite significant. Already, look at it. Look at the contagion effect of even buying sanitizers. I was looking for sanitizers around the Jolu area, and I didn't get any. The places I got around Achimota, they had jacked up the prices by almost 50%. Now, I'm hearing also that you can actually use alcohol. You guys should you? Is it possible? Methylated spirit? Is it true?
Yeah, well, but if you use it quite often, it might be harmful to the skin, but it serves the same purpose. When we're injecting, for example, that's what we use. It's just to kill any organism.
So for those at the lower ranks,
for correction purposes, you're not asking people to drink.
If you're going to use that regular.
No, you're not asking people to drink alcohol. You're asking
them. You just have to be sure it's alcohol, though.
Yeah.
You have to be sure, so you have to taste it first.
Which type of alcohol, though?
So anything ethanol, anything ethanol, or a version. So what we usually use is the medical version, which is isopropyl alcohol, or the methylated spirit as well.
And so you use it to clean your hands?
But it's not recommended for frequent use. What we're recommending is regular cleaning of hands. So if you have to use alcohol, that is going to harm your skin as well.
So assuming the $100 million is used properly, what it means is that there will be a net positive effect, because presumably you are investing in systems that would cater for successive, if not for successive or potential outbreaks, is even in yours the benefit of your health system. There's something Alex spoke about, which I think we need to actually harp on. It's about the continuity in almost everything that we do in terms of our investments in health infrastructure. You find one government does one, and then the next government comes and says, well, the economics of this smell of all kinds of corruption, so I don't want to continue. And your studio, your platform has had occasions to question these kinds of wanton disregard for public funding. So if the $100 million looks like a gap right now, if it is utilized properly, what it means is that it could eventually add to the benefits of our healthcare systems. So look at it this way. I mean, I'll be more worried if we lose lives. Because again, the potential loss of lives for productive, if these lives are very productive, it would have hampered the economy. And of course, the fact that people are restricting movement, people are going to work from home, you think it will save costs. But sometimes it means investing more in data, for instance, and all of this. It may have some rippling effect in terms of the security. It emboldens for all. Well, of course, the security, prevention of successive, if you like, multiple infections.
GUTA, in fact, just something to guide you. GUTA, the Ghana Union of Traders Association. It's almost like we are running out of import cover.
Yeah.
They are saying that if this continues, there may be a big challenge because they can't import. So what COVID-19 has done is that it has exposed our our own challenges domestically. So we are importing all the time.
Without a doubt, every country is not an island. And so even if we had food, I don't believe in self-sufficiency in food production anyway. I've always believed in self-sufficiency in food consumption, which means even if I'm not able to produce locally, I should be able to import, which is what Guta is suggesting, that we do not have the capacity to feed ourselves or to have everything else that we want. And as I said, no country is an island. If it were, there would not be international trade. So it is true that what Guta is saying is really true. And I know they are exploring other markets. But the fact of the matter is that even though, and I suspect the reason why China is a very important factor in this matter is because China is the world's biggest manufacturer and cost-wise, it's more efficient to produce in China. So if you are not going to source your materials from, let's say, Europe, what it means is that because they do a lot more quality stuff, it's going to cost you a lot more. But even in Europe, there are challenges. Other countries are shutting down their borders. I mean, the Czech Republic actually told Italy that shut your borders because you were lax of it. And other countries are doing it. Trump, my favorite, has just decided that some countries, I think 26 EU countries, is banned.
All EU countries except Europe and
except the UK
and Ireland.
Yeah, and Ireland. Well, that was selective, but I could understand. But you see, so no matter how you look at it, you'll be affected. So my formula is that, look, let people, yes, it's not good to say you want to stockpile on certain essentials, but you may want to do that for some essential.
Would it be too much to be asking for Ghana to do something similar? Economic-wise, can we...
You mean a stimulus?
No, can we shut down and fix our mess internally?
Well, I was
and
expecting...
I'm referring to the economic aspect of things. Can we survive?
No, we can't. We really cannot. I mean, you are talking... I mean, already manufacturing is not up to scratch in this country, and most of the raw materials are usually imported. So already you have been exposed on that aspect. And even normal daily, should I say, things that you normally would procure. Even toilet paper, for instance, most of it gets imported, right? Maybe you can say we should shut down. It's an opportunity, and I think the president was suggesting something like that, that there's an opportunity to embolden locals. What it means is that you may then have to stimulus package them, and then assuming they're able to come up to, they're able to meet the requirements, the demands, then that's fine. But I do not know of any serious business manufacturing entity that can meet the demands of every Ghanaian when it comes to certain essential services. Maybe food we can, because at least there's a glut. And even then, you now have to think about transportation and what have you. So you could do for certain things, but you certainly cannot survive if you decide to shut down all borders. But it is also possible that you may want to restrict some country. I think Uganda has done that for a number of countries.
Yes, to 16 countries.
16 countries. What it means is that you've got to be prepared before you do something like that, so that people do not accuse you of acting in a panic mode as well. So, and I think these are very important. I've got to say, though, that part of the money that is being that has been voted, however infinitesimal, should go to setting up short codes rather than the long winding 10-digit numbers. I mean, I don't see the sense in that actually. I mean, short codes are better because we integrate all the numbers into a short code.
We currently have a new...
Well, for ambulances.
For the ambulance, 112.
Yeah, so once
we
you
now
do
call
that,
it the national emergency number. So 112 goes to police, fire
maybe
service,
we should be integrated then, because the announcement that came with all those numbers, I mean, come on.
You can't memorize all of them.
You can't memorize all of them. But I think it is crucial that the interventions you're making monetarily should go to sustaining the systems, health systems, way beyond this COVID-19, which is why people are being suspicious, already being asking questions as to how you're going to spend it, especially when under emergency. And don't forget, politicians